Living in the UP, we probably know quite a few people or two who know a thing about pasties. But one man takes his love for the Uper favorite food to a whole new level. He goes by the name the Pasty Guy and joins us via Zoom to tell us about his passion. So tell me about the journey to becoming the Pasty Guy.
So about it's almost been about 10 years now that I grew up driving through the Upper Peninsula. Grew up in the thumb of Michigan, and my parents were from northern Wisconsin. We always drove through the Upper Peninsula, ate pasties on our way to Wisconsin, and about 10 years ago on one of those trips, I was with my brother, and we are like, why don't we try more pasty places? So we tried looking up pasty places, and it's just not easy to find pasty places. I mean, it's maybe easier now. I mean, of course, you have the pasty guy to help you out, but even back then, it was kind of limited with whatever Google Maps, with Yelp. It was still pretty limited. It's like, okay, do you know anything? Maybe there's one review on this one random place off the side of the road. And that was kind of where it started. It's like, what about all these other places? We always, we drive on US 2, so it was like, okay, we went to the same one or two places pretty much for the first 20, 30 years of our lives. And and then once I started this site, it was like, okay, there is more than maybe we thought there's 10. There's more than 100 in the UP. There's very more than 200 places in the UP to go to, and it just kind of grew from there.
On your website, thepastyguy.com, you have sections called Pasty Finder, the Pasty Trail, details on who ships pasties, and your personal rankings of all the places you've been to. How does your ranking system work?
Yeah, we came up with this on one of our car drives when, I don't know, concocting the idea of this site. And of course, you need to have a good crust. I think that is one of the first things. It's got to look good. You need the good crust, and that's your first bite. Sometimes, some pasties, your first bite is only going to be the crust, which is definitely an important factor. It's got to look good. It's got to be a cool place. I have a little, in the rating system about the shop. I usually give full marks unless I don't know they're mean to me or something like that. But usually every place I go gets full marks. Yeah, I don't find too many jerks selling pasties, I guess. And then on the inside, it's got to look good. There's got to be a good ratio. I think that's the important factor. I think in the technical Cornish pasty, it has to be a certain percentage meat to potato ratio, and you don't want to be overloaded by potatoes. You got to have a good amount of meat in there. And I know everyone will discuss, carrots or no carrots, that kind of a thing. But if there's carrots or not, that's not really going to affect my rating. It's more of, okay, does it look good? Does it taste good? Is the ratio on? And throw that in with the crust and kind of a point system from there.
And where are some of the top rated pasty joints for you?
It's an ongoing conversation. I like the pasty oven just outside of Iron Mountain, and then Lori's outside of Marquette is one of my favorites as well.
You've covered businesses, of course, in the UP, the Lower Peninsula, Wisconsin, and even outside of the Midwest. Are people sending you their suggestions?
Yeah, I get comments on the site. I have a pasty rec that I get people sending emails of places that I haven't reviewed. Most of them are places I know that are on my list. I just haven't been able to get to. But sometimes there's some new ones I haven't heard from because a lot of the research into this, it's like, okay, you go on Google Maps and you basically search pasties. You go on Google News, you search pasties and try and see what pops up. Sometimes you're not going to get the gas station that has hot pasties sitting by the register kind of thing. You're not going to get those. So that's kind of where I get a lot of the info from all the locals. Um, but yeah, then emails asking. I get all kinds of emails about I don't know, all random random people sending in random stuff. There's going on. Everyone loves the Passy Trail. They always, kind of thank me for that. Um, oh yeah, I did just add a pasty finder on my site this year. That was one thing that I have gotten a couple comments on, and it's you just kind of plug in your location, and right now it's just going to pull up all the 10, 25 miles away from where you are. all of the reviews that are nearby. So that will help a little bit instead of, okay, I'm going here. What's the best option? Because it was kind of random, and now that there's about 100 reviews on the site, now you can go to the Pasty Finder, plug in your zip code, and it'll, most of the local places will pop up, at least the ones that I've reviewed right now. So.
Now I gotta ask the great debate, ketchup or gravy with your pasty?
To review them, I eat them by itself because you got to keep all of them on a level playing field. I think that is a more important thing. Sometimes I'll stretch. Sometimes you'll get a bad pasty where it is too dry and it's just like I can't finish this whole thing. As I've said, if I have two pasties or three pasties in a day and I get a bad one in there, it's like, well, um, I guess I didn't answer your question. I grew up on ketchup though, so I grew up on ketchup. There are some places where they'll have like the homemade gravy, which is a nice touch. But I grew up on ketchup, so I would say ketchup over gravy. Though maybe I shouldn't answer that one. I think maybe people will come at me for giving an answer to that one.
No judgment at all. Thank you, the Pasty Guy. You can check out his website at thepastyguy.com or searching the Pasty Guy on social media. Stay with us and we'll be right back after the break.